So yesterday's video was about, are you thinking pitiful thoughts or powerful thoughts? Who are you being today? So I thought we'd kind of keep on that track. How are you feeling inside? Is that inner critic, that inner gangster? Do they have control over you? That little guy in your head that's like pounding at you like, hey, think these old bad thoughts about yourself. Keep thinking them over and over. Let's keep going on that track. We don't want to go to the better, lighter side that's more positive. Well, we want to stay over here in the dark, like a troll under a bridge. We don't want to listen to that guy anymore. So we're going to dig a little deeper into that today in this video. My name is Samantha. I'm a therapist, and if you're new here, I started this channel 90 days ago. This is video 90 of 365. And I started it just to let YouTube work on me. I wasn't really working on it. It's working on me. And I said, I'm just going to post every day for a year and see what comes out. And hopefully I get better throughout the year. That's what I'm hoping. And just learning as I go and hoping that, intending that I help people throughout the process. So it's been super fun. And thank you all for being here, whoever's watching. And yeah, every day I put a video out. So this is 90. So another milestone. And I'm just super excited to do this. So yeah, the inner gangster, it just seems like we all have that guy up there in our head. And there's no purpose for it. It's just programmed. The subconscious mind and the brain do not know what is true or false. And so that is wonderful news, because you can program your mind whenever you want to, at any moment. Even if you're having a bad day and you woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, as they say, you can literally decide every moment to just change your thoughts. And I think that's hard for people to understand sometimes, because they might have tried it. Like if you've tried to do the whole positive thinking thing, and it hasn't really worked for you, it might seem like what I'm saying isn't true or isn't possible, but I promise you it is. It's just that there's kind of been that stop-start that you might have experienced, where I've said this before. It's like you have one foot on the gas and then one foot on the brake at the same time. And it's like you can't move forward because you keep going back to the same thoughts that you thought yesterday. And if we don't change our thoughts, our feelings don't change, our behaviors don't change, and therefore our circumstances don't change. So everything starts with a thought, and then a belief is a thought that you just keep thinking over and over and over again. And so we create these beliefs from our childhood. That's whenever they first start, because everything that was said to you, everything that you were around as a child, programmed you. So if you were told something over and over and over, your little brain kind of fired and wired those neurons together and made a meaning out of events. Even though the events might not have meant what you made them mean, that's how your brain processed that information and that data. And it said, okay, this data means this. So every time you felt that feeling or, noticed that same thing throughout life and it felt the same way, it would seem like it was connected when it really wasn't the same thing. It just felt like it was connected because it was on the same neural network from years and years ago in the brain. And so it was just a program. So if you look at it, I've said before, pull out that old floppy disk. If you're too young to know what that is, Google it. But you got to put in a new disk. And we've got to change that software program so we can change the hardware, because your body will change when your software changes. So what are you thinking about yourself on a daily basis dominantly? That is what is going to push out into your reality. As Neville Goddard says, there is no one to change but self. You cannot change anybody outside of you. What happens is that you change your identity from the inside, and then everything shows up on the outside externally. So what we want to do is only focus. This is your only job. Like when I learned this was the biggest game changer for me, when I just learned that it's very simple, that you go inside yourself, you act as if you already have, or you already are the person that you want to become. So that's the first thing, is give yourself what you never got. That would be my first suggestion, or one suggestion, is determine what it is that you're needing and go within and give it to yourself. And that means speak a different way to yourself. Could be, if you were never told I love you, you better start telling yourself I love you. That's something to start with, or at least I like you. Start off with something easy for yourself. And the more you program this in, you'll start to feel better just naturally. As you kind of create this new identity and you act like you already have what it is that you want, your identity will shift by itself. And then everything kind of shifts on its own to where you don't have to do much work other than that. The only work is on yourself. That's what I like. It was a total game changer when I learned about how powerful our self-concept is. And your self-concept is just how you see yourself. And you can have a self-concept in relation to money, relationships, your job, everything. And so you could have a great self-concept in every area but love. You might feel like, oh, if I get with this person, they're going to leave me. So you have this abandonment from childhood because maybe a parent left you or your best friend moved when you were little, something like that. It was a big trauma or a smaller trauma, but it doesn't matter. It's still a trauma, and your brain processed it a certain way, and then it carried it into today. And so your marriage might not be the best, or your relationship might not be the best because you're carrying something from childhood and you can't open your heart to that person maybe, or you feel like, you can't be intimate with somebody else and share yourself with them or be your full self with this person. You can be like that with friends as well and not be able to open up because the trust issue. And so I think it's really important to learn to trust yourself. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that don't trust themselves. I hear that sometimes in sessions. And trust in oneself begins with a decision, first of all. What do you want? How do you want to feel? And what would make you feel that way? If you wanted to feel happy, what would make you happy? Some people don't even know what would make them happy. They just know they want to feel happy. And sometimes I'll say, well, how do you know you're not happy now? And what would happiness feel like if you had happiness? What would that feel like? And then that gets the person to start imagining what it might feel like to be happy. And so showing up for yourself is huge. Like me doing this channel was a huge commitment to show up every day for a year because I have no idea what's going to happen within this year. If I'm out of town at all or if I'm sick, I'm doing a video. Even if it's a 5-minute video, I'm going to do a video every day. Doesn't matter if it's alive, if it's on the camera, if it's on my phone, if it's on something else that I get within the next few months, who knows? The locations will change. I just committed, and you got to commit to yourself, and that will create trust in yourself as well, right there. I think just showing up, keeping your word to yourself. I think that's probably the biggest thing is just keeping your word. That goes for like if you're dieting or you want to quit smoking, things like that. You just say, nope, I'm gonna do this now. And so that's something that I did. I shifted my identity, and I said, I guess I'm gonna be a YouTuber now. And if I'm a YouTuber, that means I gotta do this video every day because I said I would. And I declared it publicly. And I'm like, this is what I'm doing. And it's working on me more than I'm working on it. It's definitely working on me. Everything you do in your life is working on you. And it's shaping and molding you into who you're becoming. So whatever you think and believe about yourself is where you're going to be. So start thinking bigger than you've ever thought in your entire life. Start thinking outlandish thoughts just for the fun of it. You want to generate the state. Remember, we talk about creating the mental state. That's how manifesting happens. It's like you create that mental state. There's like the present you and the future you. And in the middle, there's this gap. And it's like once you start kind of like shifting your mental state and shifting your thoughts, the new you and the old you kind of merge together, and poof, all of a sudden you've manifested this new identity. And the new you see the world differently. You will literally see your world differently when you shift inside. And again, when I learned that all you have to do is go within yourself and do these different practices and see what feels the best for you, because one thing that works for someone may not work for the other one, just the same. Except I really do feel like generating the feeling from within, from imagining something. I think everybody can do that to some extent. I think that would work for literally everyone because everyone is imagining every day anyway, all day. So you're generating mental states. Everybody is all day long, just through what you're thinking and what you're imagining, literally. So, but once I learned that it was just go within yourself, I was like, well, you don't need anything for that other than your mind and just a little bit of focus. And so everybody can do that at some point. And we're doing it again. We're doing it all day long, most likely focused on what we don't have, what we're lacking, or what we want, or versus what we want. We're focused on the lack instead of what it is that we actually want to have. So it's actually so simple. We just make it hard. That's something as a therapist wanting to blend in this manifestation stuff with quantum physics and neuroscience, all of it together. I was like, how am I going to do this? And I'm still working through that. It's jumbled still a little bit. I've got so many topics that I want to talk about that I will be talking about. But I was like, how do I blend all this into these videos every day? How am I going to do this? Because I really don't plan these videos out at all. They just kind of come out of me. But in the future, like I said, I will be planning more. But to where they're more the message is more concise. But yeah, I just was like, how am I going to blend all these things and have it sound coherent? And so I just kind of took the best things that I know that work for me and that have worked for others that I've helped out with this stuff. And it just makes so much sense that the mental state is what creates everything. That's what's creating your perspective of everything. And your perspective and your perception is how you're going to see everything. It's going to be like, you're going to see the clouds and say, oh God, it's cloudy today. Or you're going to say, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I love the cloudiness. So it depends on, where your state is. And I think that's the most important thing. And so that inner gangster inside of you is wanting to fight, and it wants you to stay in that same mindset. And so when you decide to shoot him down, kill him, and let the old you emerge, or the new you emerge. After the old man dies, the new man emerges. That's what we want. We want to basically kill off the old self-concept that has no bearing on where you're going. A moment ago has no bearing on where you're going to go right now. Yesterday does not matter. It only matters what you've got going on in your now. What are you going to do with now? What time is it? It's now. Always. It's not 2:00. It's now. Every time you ask what time it is. It's not 2:30. It's now. Always remember that. Like, it's just now. What are you going to do with now? And then what are you going to do with the next now and the next now? And remembering that that's all you have. There's nothing else to worry about other than you have right now and what is going on in your head. That's all you need. Just keep it very, very simple, that your thoughts are frequencies that are basically signals to the universe saying that this is what I want to attract to me. This, what matches this frequency. Think about that in terms of like matching frequencies. Like when you're feeling bad, you're at this certain frequency, and just think about it like this, like you're attracting things to you that match that frequency. So you've got to think about your life in terms of frequency. And that might help as well to kind of inspire you, or to just keep you aware of, okay, I'm thinking this thought, I'm feeling this way. What frequency might this be at? And then if this frequency is attracting other things to it that match it, then am I at the right frequency that I want to be at right now? And remember that if there's a lot of momentum behind this frequency, which means you've been thinking this one thought, this thought pattern started with one thought, and then you had multiple thoughts that matched it, there's going to be some momentum behind it. And so we've got to slow down the momentum. You want to regulate your nervous system. I'll be talking a lot about how to do that, different techniques that you can do to relax. But the best thing is to go back to the breath. You want to just make things simple. You want to breathe. Just nothing will keep you more in tune with the now moment than breathing. And all you have to do is just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in, take a double inhale. So inhale and then inhale again. Hold it for a second or two, and then a full exhale, a longer exhale than you inhaled. So I like to do like 4 seconds in with a second inhale, hold it for 2, and then let it out for 8. and about 20 cycles of that. And then you're present, because you can't think more than one thought at a time. That's another thing to keep in mind. You can only think one thought at a time. So if you're just thinking about your breathing, you're immediately slowing down the momentum of your rage you're feeling or your sadness you're feeling. You're just slowing it down to where you can actually feel the feeling and let it pass through your body, because you don't want to suppress this stuff. It's not just about let's think positively. It's about, hey, let's transmute this energy into a better feeling. Let's not ignore it. Let's acknowledge and validate that, hey, I'm feeling this way. Let's let it pass through our bodies really quick. Let's feel it a little bit instead of ignoring it or avoiding it or suppressing it and pushing it down. We want to just feel it really quick, breathe through it, let it pass, and then we want to transmute it. Okay, I felt this. How do I want to feel now? What could I do to conjure that feeling, generate it from the inside out? What could I do? And so sometimes, again, you have to think about something outlandish. You could think about literally butterflies, anything. You could think about teddy bears, whatever makes you smile. A baby. Put on a video of babies laughing, or cats. Cats are hilarious. When they try to jump on something and they fall, something like that. Cats are so funny. Anything that makes you laugh. Laughing is really good medicine too, of course. So we just forget we've got to disrupt that pattern is the main point of this. It's like you got to disrupt that inner gangster. Tell him, no, we're going this way. Turn the gangster into a little angel. We got a big job to do there, because that gangster has been there since childhood. He was injected in you. Now we got to, do some heart and head surgery and put the angel in there. What would the angel say instead of the gangster? There's a big difference. So speak kindly to yourself. Speak lovingly to yourself. You will start to feel a lot better once you do that, once you're aware that you're even doing it. I think a lot of us aren't aware that we don't like ourselves. That's one thing to check in. Do you like yourself? How do you think of yourself? Because how you think of yourself is coming out in your life. It will show you exactly where your leaks are. You've got energy leaks. You've got these leaks that I would describe a leak as like you're spending your time and focus on something that is not taking you forward in any way. Gossip, complaining, things like that. Looking in the mirror and saying, oh my God, I'm so fat. That was me. I've done that. Anybody who knows me knows that I've done that my whole life, my whole entire life. Haven't done it for the last, I would say, 6 months. I haven't done that. And it's great. I had to train my brain to not do that. That's a big thing when you're a kid and you're overweight and you're told you're fat and you're told all these things. That was programmed in so long ago. And then with the abuse I went through, your body just doesn't feel good. You don't feel safe. And so even getting on YouTube, I had to tell myself, you're safe. Like, who cares what anybody thinks about what you're doing? You're trying to get a message out to help people. Who cares what anybody says? Just focus on the people who you're helping. And that's what I want to do, is just pass along what's worked for me and see if it helps you. And I'll have tons of suggestions throughout these videos and programs I end up doing and all these kinds of things. And I like to keep it real simple, though. You don't need much. You just need your own mind. You need awareness of where your thoughts are going. And the most powerful skill you can develop is how to direct your thoughts towards what you want. That focused energy is so important, and it's so powerful. You have no idea until you actually do it. And you're like, okay, this is awesome. And you're a signal, like your body and your brain are a signal to the universe saying, hey, I'm at this frequency. Bring me my stuff. So there's just this little gap between you and what you're wanting. And it's just an identity that you have to take on. How would this feel if I had this? And it's also an acknowledgement. If you go inside your head and say, you give it to yourself. You say, okay, this is mine now. Thank you. Just say thank you. Thank you that I now have this. And it's like assuming that you have it, taking on that assumption, like I have this, and identifying with it and feeling it and just practicing it. It's just a practice. You've practiced not feeling good all your life. We got to practice something different. So don't make it too hard. That's something that I did for years, and that's another reason why I didn't do any videos, because I was trying so hard to figure out how can I get these thoughts out coherently and not be so jumbled? And you just have to kind of remember, keep it simple. Don't listen to too many people. Don't read too many books about this stuff. Just kind of keep it real simple for a while and master it. And then you can expand from there, into other things. But very much keep it very simple so you're not putting more pressure on yourself, which is what we do anyway. Figure out what you don't need to do versus what you need to do as well. And purge what's not, unnecessary to do. So that helped me a lot too. So, well, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a wonderful Saturday evening or morning, whatever time it is. It might be Sunday somewhere. I think in Australia it might be Sunday today. So you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.